Hello and welcome. Today, we're jumping into a really powerful framework that tries to answer one of the biggest questions out there. What really separates good from evil?
This is something humanity has wrestled with for millennia. Is being a good person about what you think, what you do, or maybe the results of your actions? It's a huge question, but the framework we're exploring today offers a surprisingly direct answer. Yeah, we're about to break down a philosophy that really doesn't do shades of gray. Instead, it lays out this very clear, almost binary standard for what it means to be good versus what it means to be evil.
All right, so let's get into it. We'll start with the ideal. According to this way of thinking, what does a good person actually look like? What are the things that define them?
So the standard starts at the personal level. A good person is someone who brings joy and harmony to the people around them. But it doesn't stop there. The idea is that this positive impact scales up, from your family and friends all the way to bringing peace and unity to an entire nation.
And the definition gets even bigger. It moves beyond just how we treat each other. A good person is also a guardian of nature, someone who's building a better world for the generations that come after us. It's like they don't just do good things. They embody goodness so completely that they actually show us what this text calls the scenery of heaven. Okay, so this is really the key takeaway for this part. Goodness isn't just some feeling or a private thought. It's an active outward force. It's measured by the real, positive, and constructive impact you have on the world. Now, let's flip the coin. If goodness is all about creation and harmony, then evil, in this framework, is its perfect, destructive opposite. So the traits of a bad person are basically being a force of chaos. They're the ones bringing suffering, stirring up conflict, and, importantly, imposing their will on other people. This act of forcing your will is seen as leading people down a path the text calls an abyss of sin. And just like we saw with goodness, this negative influence scales up in a big way. It goes from causing splits in families all the way to starting wars. And these destructive actions lead to what the framework calls the demonic scenery of hell, the absolute opposite of that heavenly vision. Right, so to wrap up this idea, evil isn't just, failing to do something good. It is the active, intentional creation of terrible outcomes. It's all about taking, breaking, and dividing, the complete antithesis of giving, building, and uniting. Okay, so we have the definitions. Now let's put them right next to each other. When you see them side by side, the distinctions in this philosophy become crystal clear. Look at the focus here. It's all about the kind of social and emotional world each person creates. One person builds a world of warmth and connection, while the other manufactures pain and disagreement. It's a fundamental difference in the human experience they create for everyone else. And here you can see their totally opposite relationships with the planet. This framework doesn't treat environmentalism like some kind of policy debate. It presents it as a core moral dividing line. The question is simple. Are you a protector or are you a destroyer? In this view, there's just no middle ground. And this is the final massive outcome. The actions of individuals, when you multiply them across a whole society, lead humanity down one of two roads. One is toward peace and working together, the other toward war and collapse. That is a wild idea, right? That your personal morality is directly tied to the fate of nations. So let's just pull back for a second and look at the big picture. What's the core philosophy holding this whole system together? I mean, here it is, all laid out. On one side, you have creation, lifting others up, and unity. On the other, it's all about destruction, forcing your will, and conflict. The two paths are presented as perfect, mirror opposites of each other. So what's the big idea we should take away from all this? Well, it's a huge shift in focus. It's away from what a person might be thinking or intending privately and almost entirely onto their public, collective impact. This framework argues that the ultimate measure of your character isn't what you believe, but what you either build or break in the world around you. And that really leaves us with one last, pretty powerful question to think about. This framework is direct, it's absolute. It suggests there's a single universal yardstick for morality. But is that even possible? Or even a good idea in a world as complex as ours? That's definitely some food for thought. Thanks for joining me for this one.